23rd day here on the land at Harvest Barn Shop Market Garden. Happy New Year for 2018. Hope it's been a good year so far. This is bed 4H, the latest bed that I've dug, and it's the 8th bed in this third block, which is block 5, and there's 2 more to go, and then I will have done 30 beds altogether. It's been raining a lot recently, and today is also pretty wet. There's quite a lot of standing water. You can see it's collected on the tarp here on blocks 2 and 3, and you can see it's got this tendency to suck your feet right in, which is odd that the soil is so light. Colin described it as like soot. You wouldn't want to take a tractor out on this. That's the state of my boots and waterproof trousers. This is how much couch grass there was in one bed, which is a very low amount compared to how much couch grass I was digging out at the beginning. When I got back today, I found that a lot of the garlic had popped out of the ground. This could be because of the frosts and the snow that we had. When the ground gets frozen, it can push upwards and expand. Or it might be that the roots growing, because the soil is so light, when the roots start growing, the garlic pops out of the ground. But I'm gonna have to go through and push all that back in. I've now covered the garlic with a couple of inches of straw. The main idea behind this is to conserve water in the soil as the spring gets warmer. I don't think it's an issue at the moment that there might be a lack of water, but going into the spring it would be good to keep as much moisture in the soil as possible, and it just helps to protect the garlic a bit. I'm now going to be laying down some ground cover along the edge of this bed just to stop the couch grass growing up along the edge of this block, sorry, not bed. And that's the ground cover laid down on the north side of block 4. That took about an hour to do. Back in the ground, cycle it round. I'm not sure how much of this you're going to be able to hear because it's very windy. Storm Eleanor is raging over the country. It was pretty windy last night, quite a lot of rain and sleet. It's difficult to tell how the plants have been affected. They're not looking too bad. The Enviromesh here wasn't weighed down enough, but what is good is that most of it has stayed in place. I need to increase the number of hoops. This seems to work, which is about 3 meters. Any less than that and it sags too much. That I put down yesterday has stayed in place for most of the beds, but these lettuces look quite well protected under this fleece, so that's doing a good job. It's just quite close to the plants, which means it affects their ability to grow. Here you can see the winter purslane, which has been damaged by, I guess that's the sleet or the frost. The lettuces are looking a bit bedraggled. That one has almost had it, and of the leaves are a bit shredded. giant mustard. This is doing pretty well. The Chinese mustard seems quite resilient. I'd like to be picking that by next week to put in the shop. I have a debate about whether to try and cover some of this with plastic or maybe Enviromesh. It just requires quite a lot of infrastructure with the hoops, the Enviromesh, weighing it down, the clips to hold it in place, and whether it's worth it or not. But the weather is definitely a little bit more severe than it was, so I don't want to risk losing all of these crops, not being able to sell them after all that work. But that is all part of the learning process. At least it's not raining today. It's actually quite a nice morning. This is Harvest Barn shop 1 week before opening.
That green and brown, break it down. If it once was alive, make your garden thrive. High five. Down it break in a scat layer cake. Pile it up high and just let it bake. Give it some air, but don't let it dry out. Every now and then, just fluff it about. Well, everything is always falling apart. Well, there's no need to let it break your heart. Don't just break it down. Breaking down. Microbes going to town, getting their fix till it's all devoured. Broken down, time to feed your plants, spread it right out and do a little dance. Well, everything is always falling apart. Might as well just give it all a brand new start and break it down.
I've just put some polythene about 5 meters on these 2 beds of lettuce, and I put this on yesterday on these other 2 beds of mustard and winter purslane. I've had this polythene for a while on my allotment, and I just want to experiment with whether it works in terms of the wind being weighed down by water, possibly snow, whether it improves the quality of the salads underneath, and if that leads to better crops. So we'll see how it works. A bit of an experiment. It's not ideal, it seems to be sagging a bit, but I can do some small improvements, see how that works out. So I've almost come to the end of my half week here at the market garden. It's been a productive few days. The weather hasn't been particularly comfortable, but the rain is good for the plants, and the wind allows me to see whether the low tunnels and all the other things I've got in place, the ground cover, whether they stand up to the wind. It is a very windy site. I'm currently looking at getting a polytunnel, which presents a few problems, especially the possibility of it not being secure enough. So that is one big issue on this site, amongst others, that it's very windy and the soil is very light, so it doesn't have much load bearing capacity. So I haven't done much with the actual crops in the last couple of days. I haven't done any hoeing because it's been too wet, and I did do some hoeing just before Christmas, so I would have been surprised if it had needed it. But there are weeds coming up which will need to be hoed off in the next few weeks. I've mainly been doing the ground cover, getting that down around the edges and on some of the paths, and doing these covers. Put these 2 polythene covers on here, and this is called tender mesh from a company called Agrilan, and this fits quite well over this one bed. Just trying to raise the temperature a bit, protect the plants from the worst of the rain or sleet, and maybe warm up the temperature a little bit underneath. I'm hoping that some of these crops will be ready to harvest next week to put in bags for the shop. The best one, as I've said before, is this Chinese mustard, but some of these lettuces and other crops should be ready as well. You can see one of the main benefits of having this plastic over the crops. It's a bit windy now, not too bad, but the plastic doesn't seem to be really tugging at those sandbags, which is great, and the crops underneath are being protected from the rain, so the soil dries up a bit, warms up a bit, and the crops should grow a bit quicker. They'll also be less damaged by the weather. I've left the ends open so that the wind can blow through. Hopefully that won't put too much pressure where it's being held down. 10 minutes later, this is what's happened, which is kind of what I was hoping wouldn't happen. The plastic has pulled out from the sandbags, so I've got to have a rethink about that. I've redone the plastic so that hopefully it won't pull out again. Difficult to know. The wind is getting up. I'm going to be here for a few days, so fingers crossed it doesn't go flying. That's it for another day at the Harvest Barn Shop Market Garden. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to this channel and like this video if you enjoyed it, and if you didn't, then leave a comment. It would be good to hear from you. Thank you. I decided to get rid of one of the plastic sheets. It was just blowing around too much, and I didn't want to have to worry about it during the time when I'm not here, so I'm taking it down, which is a bit disappointing, but better to be safe than sorry, I guess. Sorry little lettuces, I would have liked to leave you tucked up, but not the way it's going to be. But we've got another beautiful sunset here over the Cambridgeshire countryside.
One thing's for certain, and that's that nothing's for certain. You never know what's around the bend. In whatever you're dealing, just accept what you're feeling. There's no point in believing it will never end. It's changing, constantly changing.
A surprising collection of winter salad leaves. Chinese mustard, golden frills and purple frills. Komatsuna. Giant red mustard, lamb's lettuce, mibuna, mizuna, winter purslane, lettuce Arctic king and winter density, and young spinach leaves. All combined to make this amazingly tasty, fresh salad in the depths of winter. All these leaves, freshly picked on the farm, available in the Harvest Barn shop.
In every situation.